Greetings. How's it going? How you doing? All right. We are going to talk about being ready for opportunity at all times today. As a reminder, my name is Lisa Edwards, the CEO of The Exclusive Career and host of two podcasts. This one, The Exclusive Career Coach, which is all things job search, and The Exclusive Career, which is all things career management, leadership development, executive competencies, those kinds of things. The last episode that I did on the Exclusive Career podcast is why you need to network within your company and how. I talk about the reasons to build those relationships, who to build them with, how to go about it in a way that is mutually beneficial. And I did that as kind of almost a second part to an episode I had with guest Brad Englert, where he talked about that. He's actually written a book on building essential internal and external relationships. And so I wanted to go into a little bit more of the how-to part of it in this episode. So if that sounds interesting to you, hop over to the Exclusive Career Podcast and listen to that. All right, as I've said before, we've been doing updates of old episodes, and so this is another episode that I'm updating. It originally aired in 2017, and it was entitled How to Be ARFO, ARFO, and which is a term that I coined in doing some research with past clients, and it stands for always ready for opportunity. So I started talking, I did a survey with old clients, and what I found was a best practice. And of course, this is going back 8 years ago now. It's a pretty common practice that I teach my clients now, but it was a bit of a new concept for me back then. And it was this idea that some people were very successful in moving from job to job without ever really having a job search, without really going into or out of job search mode, but rather they were always ready for opportunity. So I'm going to talk about the benefits of that and also how to be always ready for opportunity. And hey, full disclosure, if you think ARFO is a stupid term, it is, but it is something that kind of is catchy and it's something that hangs. I notice I'll have clients reach out to me and they'll be like, ARFO, like they'll use the term. So it does stick. So if you don't love it, you understand the concept, hopefully. The idea here is that you want job opportunities to come to you. If you don't have to look for a job because there are recruiters reaching out to you on the regular and you have your pick, then that's fantastic. And it can also be in addition to a job search. So you can be ARFO when you're perfectly happy where you're at, and then at some future point, you're ready to move on. You want to be more active, so you engage in a more active job search. But ARFO is sort of that low level of, hey, I'm going to have those conversations, and who knows, I want to keep myself open. So what are the benefits? Well, number one, if you don't have to spend hours upon hours of looking for a job, that's great. So think of this as, doing the maintenance on your car rather than repairs. We're going to have all the things, have our ducks in a row, so to speak, so that people will reach out to us and we will feel good about having those calls. We won't be like, "Oh, my resume's out of date. Oh, I didn't get my latest certification. Oh, I haven't completed my degree." But rather you will, and this is a little woo-woo, I admit, but you're kind of energetically open for business, open to have those conversations. So that's number one. The second benefit, I think, is that there's efficiency in being ARFO. There's so much inefficiency in applying to jobs online. So specifically, if that's how you have looked for a job in the past, let's do ARFO and hopefully eliminate or minimize the amount of time that you ever have to spend applying online or going through, all those tedious application steps only to be ghosted. And then the final point that I want to make here is that you're always in a position of power. You are fine in your job. No one's showing you the door. You're not thinking about how to make your exit as quickly as possible. You are succeeding at your job, which is going to, of course, make you more attractive to employers, and you get to be picky. Your value then skyrockets. You are the one in control of this conversation. Now, tips for being ARFO. I've already alluded to the first one. You want to keep your resume and your LinkedIn profile updated. None of this, like, you don't want to have to make excuses. You don't want to have to say to a recruiter who reaches out to you, "Oh, let me update my resume. Can I get that to you in a couple weeks?" Nor do you want your LinkedIn profile to be so outdated that they are reaching out to you, if at all, for a lower level or the wrong type of position, the wrong type of industry, because they don't know what you're doing now because you haven't updated it. You haven't clearly articulated that. Next step is you want to be active on LinkedIn. And this can vary depending on, what you do for a living, the industry that you're in, your level. But I want you to consider at minimum commenting on other people's posts. And I recommend a 5-word comment. So rather than just saying great article, say something about the article. That's what's going to cause you to be seen as more of a subject matter expert. Great job, great article is not going to do that for you. Sharing posts from other people, and maybe down the road, and this is a conversation I have with some of my more senior clients or some that are in a certain field where it just feels like that's the next step for them, is we talk about that original content. And if that sounds like, whoa, like, okay, I'm not there, you can certainly comment on other posts and you can certainly share posts. So we are talking about more than just the job section of LinkedIn, but the active networking part. Next, you want to maintain a low level but consistent networking strategy. The worst thing you can do in terms of your career as a whole is to put your network on the shelf and pull it down only when you are job searching. You will get a bad reputation. No one will want to talk to you because they know that's why you're calling them. But also, and I think this is often overlooked, you will miss who knows how many other cool opportunities. Not necessarily job offers, but board positions, committee assignments, volunteer opportunities that could change the entire trajectory of your career. And also, you are missing opportunities to help other people. So, networking as a consistent low level strategy is a very effective ARFO tool. And it's not a one and done thing. Like, it's not, I've met that person, now I'm done. Think about, as you have a meeting with someone, is this someone I want to touch base with annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly even? What's the cadence for now with this person? And I'm going to have some sort of system to keep track of that. Next, when recruiters reach out, I want you to be willing to have that initial conversation. Even if the opportunity right thing for you, you're building a relationship, presumably this recruiter. Now, if it is just bizarre or you're not even sure this is legitimate, that's a different story. But if this appears to be a legitimate recruiter with a legitimate opportunity that is in the ballpark of what you're looking for, have the conversation so that you can start that relationship and hopefully be, able to talk to them down the road about something that's a better fit. And next, once you've developed those relationships, maintain that regular contact. You can be a source of wisdom about your job function, your industry, your employer. Just shoot them a little email. Wanted you to know that this ruling has changed, which affects our job how, or affect our industry. Or, hey, kudos, I saw that you just got this award, or I saw that your organization was recognized in this way. And also, of course, sending potential candidates their way can be a great way to keep that relationship going. And then finally, I want you to keep in mind when it comes to networking and ARFO that it's not just about who you know, but about who knows you. And you want to be someone that people think of right away when the right opportunity comes along. And these steps and these ideas that I've given you today will hopefully do that for you. So I think this has been a fairly short episode relative to many. Hope it's been helpful. As a reminder, I'll be next week on the exclusive career podcast, and I'll see you here in 2 weeks. Take care.